Hello, this is Tom at the Tractor Rescue Ranch. I just wanted to show you how this saw guide turned out. I think it looks great with those original colors on it. But anyway, that's where it goes. And I did not drill the holes on it yet. I'm not going to until I end up finding a saw, because depending on what size big circular saw I'm able to find. I haven't had much luck yet on that project, but depending on what that is, this is going to have to go forward or back so that it matches the blade. And anyway, here is where that came from, off the old wood, and there was a series of holes there so that you could adjust it for different blades anyway. If I find a blade, I don't see a reason to do a whole bunch of holes. That's, I'm sure, the way that came from the factory that way. So there's that part of it. This I'll just set aside until we get further down the road to where I've got a blade on it and stuff, so I know where to put it. I had mentioned in a previous video about some parts, and one of the subscribers helped me out big time on figuring this stuff out. So this part here goes there's supposed to be two of these, and so this goes towards the end of the tracks. And the track system out towards the end, that piece would go between a couple planks going across, and then there's a big wheel that's supposed to go in there, and then your cable that runs the carriage back and forth would run through and around that big wheel that goes in there. So I've got this piece for the one side, and it's broken, but I'm thinking I can just drill a hole. You can see right there on the edge where the old hole was, but I can just come back a little bit and drill a hole. I can still make this piece work for the one side, but it won't be hard to make a piece for the other side. So I've just got to come up with the wheels for it, and I'm thinking for now what I'm going to do is I'll make the wheels out of some big sandwiched together pieces of plywood. So a wheel right like that with being plywood sandwiched together, and then I'll press some bearings into that plywood, and then that shaft that goes down there will run on them bearings. And I think that will work for now on that piece. Hopefully, eventually I'd like to put together a plasma cutter, and I could cut those wheels out with a CNC plasma cutter. Got some plans for that, but not the budget. So eventually we'll probably end up with some metal wheels in there, but I just trying to get things going for now. So that was the one part I didn't know about. I had thought when I gathered all these parts up that these parts is what they had the cables running through instead of that other apparatus I just got done talking about. But these parts go on the chain drive, the chain that carries the sawdust out of the pit from underneath. So there would be one way out on the head, out where the sawdust is piled up, one of them, and then this other one would be down in the bottom of the pit. And then this piece is part of the same stuff. On the back of the mill here, on this piece here, the main shaft is going through like this, and then the saw blade goes right there. But there's a big post back here that comes up and goes up in the air, and then this piece sits on that post, and on one side there's a shaft that runs through here. On one side of that shaft there's a flat belt pulley, and on the other side of the shaft is a sprocket. And so this same chain that pulls the sawdust out of the pit and runs over those pulleys would run on this sprocket here that's sitting on top of that post, and then it drags the sawdust out of the pit. So anyway, I'm going to have to build some parts here and there because those parts are missing, and I don't have a shaft or pulleys or anything, but I'm going to have to come up with that. And then that flat belt on the main shaft that the saw hooks to, there's a flat belt pulley already on it on this side that will run that chain apparatus. So got all those parts figured out. Like I said, thanks to one of the subscribers that's helped me out, helped me figure that stuff out. And that's where we're at. My next project, I've got to get this all tore apart, and I'm going to get part of it mounted up there, and then this part that comes out, I'm going to have to wait. I might end up at some point being without stuff to do, because some of this stuff is going to have to wait until I get everything set and leveled in its final resting place, especially like these parts. These parts here that go on there, and then that's what holds those big bearings on the main shaft. But anyway, that part is going to have to be absolutely perfect and level. So all of that stuff might have to wait until I get going on with everything leveled up in its final resting place. So anyway, let's hope for an early spring so I can get working on that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm at. Thanks for watching.